Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 376. I am Brendan. Francis Ngannou taking on Anthony Joshua in the art of boxing. The sweet science. We are going to break down the fight. No spoilers in the intro. Subscribe to the channel if you want to know the next video is coming out. If you like this kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it. If you like this video, hit the like button. I'd appreciate that too. Spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Anthony Joshua. Holy shit. Holy shit. Not even close. We're going to break it down, but there's not a lot to break down here. We'll talk about kind of how he set it up. But just finished watching it. It's an early night. It's only it's not even 7 o'clock. I figured I'll just record now instead of wait until tomorrow. This was it was surprising to me watching Joshua get the knockout, but it wasn't surprising that there was a clear skill differential. We'll talk about that stuff. Let's actually break down the fight first, okay? Let's go through it. So, round one, good jab from Joshua, going to the body well with the jab, dipping down, kind of lowering his head, lowering his center of gravity a little bit, going, and then Ngannou was trying to do the same thing back. You know, Ngannou isn't known for his jab, but he was trying to throw it out there. I mean, it worked against Fury for a little bit. Joshua's using the head movement to avoid the hooks and the big shots coming back from Ngannou early. He's keeping his guard high, keeping it tight. Ngannou finds the body with a good right hand. I think if Ngannou didn't go head hunting and kept his guard high, I think it could have been a more competitive match. A nice straight right hand from Joshua puts Ngannou down in the first round. A story that will repeat itself. Good round for Joshua. I think he looked really good. I think he looked professional. I think he represented the art, the sport of boxing very well in this round. 10-8. Second round, Joshua doing a good job staying on the outside, using the measuring jab to the body, keeping that out there really nice, and then lands a right hand to the body as well. Ngannou was trying that counter lead left hook, but because Joshua kept dipping down, that hook just wasn't there for him. And even when he was there, Joshua just had the tight guard. There was just nothing there for him. He needed to straighten out his punches. He needed to use the jab a little bit, go to the body, like he tried to a little bit in that first round. It looked like he was just overwhelmed. He would, again, Ngannou was trying. He's doing, like, Joshua's doing a lot of ducking, right, and going to the body with the jab and using the right hand, and then again, a big counter right hand, and Ngannou goes down again, right? And I was just like, holy shit, I can't believe he knocked him down again. And then immediately he gets back up, and then this happens. Right on the chin and out. Yeah. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Oh, man, he went to sleep. Jeez. I mean, there's not much more to break down here. Okay, that's the end of the breakdown. I think there was a path to victory for Ngannou that involved maybe a little bit more chaos, maybe a little bit more bullying, maybe Joshua being off his game. Just none of that came to fruition. You know, you had Let's look at this. What this means, right? Because Joshua was beaten by Usyk twice, convincingly, I might add. Those were not close. I wouldn't say they were even competitive. Joshua, and then you got Usyk Fury coming up. Based off however that goes, let's say Fury, takes out Usyk. Is there any reason for Fury to take on Joshua? Probably not. It might happen. I mean, they were asking. Joshua ducked him for years. Like, Joshua refused. And I think it's his management. I don't think it's Joshua necessarily. But Joshua not wanted no part of it. The only person who was willing to take that fight for a long time was, oh, good grief. Now why can I not remember his name? The Bronze Bomber. Why can I not remember his name? I just said it 100 times. Oh my goodness. When I was watching it. Anyway, the only person who was willing to take that fight, the only person who was willing to take it was good mother. Deontay Wilder. Why could I not remember him? Good grief. He just had a fight. He just had a fight recently too. But the only one who was willing to take it was Deontay Wilder. And then they went back and forth. Like he took a break from that, and then went back and fought Wilder 2 more times. And then he was taken serious. And then it was like Joshua's managed. Like then Joshua lost the title in the midst of all that, and then got it back and then lost it again. So there's this whole thing. Just timing didn't work out because the management from Joshua. I cannot believe I did not remember Wilder's name. That's so stupid. Because what I wanted to see was Ngannou versus Wilder, because the talk was that Ngannou hits. He's the hardest puncher in the world. I think Wilder hits harder than Ngannou. Not that a measure of someone's strength is a knockout, but I think that he does hit harder. And this. What did this tell us, right? Ngannou knocked Tyson Fury down, so that clearly means that if you use the math and the transitive property, that Anthony Joshua is going to knock the shit out of Tyson Fury. I don't think so. I think what this showed was Tyson Fury. I think this was even clearer evidence if you didn't watch the Tyson Fury match. I mean, go back and watch it. It's relatively interesting. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. But I think what that told us was Tyson Fury really did not take that serious, despite whether or not he's lying beforehand or after about not taking it serious or not being up for it or whatever you want to say. I think this shows us absolutely that he did not take it serious. He did not give it 100%. And had he done that, it would have been a different situation. Does Francis Ngannou catch him and still knock him down? Possibly. I just don't. I think the way that we all kind of expected it to go, where Tyson Fury tunes him up, takes it easy, and jabs his face off, kind of stays on the outside, stays athletic, grapples a little bit more, puts a weight on him, and then carries him into the later rounds, and then works for a finish or whatever, if that's possible, or kind of just carries to a decision. I think that's what we were all expecting. That's what the world was expecting. And I think that would have been more likely if Tyson Fury took it serious. But the dude planned the Usyk fight out ahead of time, said like, oh yeah, I'll be ready by December or whatever shit that he was going to do. And then on top of that is like, he's like, oh yeah, like I'm training super hard for this. Comes in, he looks so bad. Like I know he's not like a Greek god when it comes to his physique, but we all saw like he wasn't in peak physical condition even for himself. And I think that's what speaks to this. And it also speaks to the fact that Anthony Joshua is still a very good boxer, an excellent boxer. Like and maybe they just watched the tape on Ngannou and, took it serious and put together a perfect game plan. And Anthony Joshua just, textbook execution, just takes him out. Absolutely perfect shot. If you look at him, there's a little bit of a wind up because it's in slow motion, but you watch him just like come over with that right. It wasn't even a big loop in right hand. It's like straight down the pipe, right hand, right on the chin, puts him down, puts him out. Beautiful shot. What does this mean for, and you guys let me know, what do you guys want? What do you guys think they should do? What do you guys want to see? Because personally, what I'd like to see, I'd still like to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder, despite Deontay Wilder's last performance. Like, I'd still like to see that because I think it'd be fun. It should have happened years ago, didn't happen years ago because of management and whatever and promotional bullshit. We all know what happens with boxing, right? It's not even a secret. It's just the nature of the business, and it sucks. We miss out on a ton of excellent fights in their prime. I mean, the famous example is Pacquiao Mayweather, at least for our generation, right? Pacquiao Mayweather happened, 5 years too late? And it's does Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder in his current state mean that he would have beat him 5 years ago or 6 years ago? Maybe not, but I'm still interested in it. I think it would still be fun to see if Joshua can avoid the power right hand of Wilder. I do. I still think that would be fun. I think Wilder is a better boxer than Ngannou, which isn't saying much. And not to shit all over Ngannou, because I don't want to do that. I mean, him stepping out of his comfort zone and going to boxing and all that stuff, like, all the credit that he got for the last one, he deserves all the criticism for this one, right? Maybe he's believing in his own hype yet again. Maybe it's the, I'm knocking everybody out and I'm coming here to take over boxing type of situation, similar to how he did in MMA, and then gets, checked real hard and then has to pump the brakes. So he could come back, put some skills together. He is on the older side, obviously, but he's a heavyweight, so they have time. It is possible for him to come back, but holy shit. Like, holy smokes. This is not what I expected. Not what I expected at all. Holy smokes. Wow. Like I didn't I wasn't expect I was ready to see like, go the distance or whatever, and Joshua putting it on him, and then Ngannou, finding out he's not as good of a boxer, and then he's gonna go back to the PFL or whatever. This I think this hurts his stock in MMA. It's not devastating because MMA is still separate enough from boxing to where, you don't lose a lot of street cred for losing getting knocked out in the boxing ring. But I think this does take some of the mystique away. Now Francis Ngannou has not just been beaten by a wrestler, like he's been knocked out by a boxer. Right before, when Stipe, wrestled him for 25 minutes, and yeah, he did outstrike him, but he just got him tired. And like, oh well, that was early in Ngannou. He's much more disciplined now, and he's better at managing cardio, and he's a better striker now, and this and that. Like, he went in there with a professional boxer and got absolutely destroyed in 2 rounds. Like, this wasn't a 12-round beatdown. This wasn't a demolishing, like, deconstruction of his skill set. It was just he clearly was not ready for the moment and got destroyed. Okay, so do I think he should stay in boxing? I'd still be interested in the Ngannou Deontay Wilder fight. I'd still be into that. Like, let me know what you guys think. But my friend Hassam and I were talking, and like he signed this deal with the PFL, and the PFL's like I don't remember seeing their name anywhere on the canvas, on his shorts, on his promotional material. I don't remember seeing it. It should be plastered everywhere. That dude should have a fucking PFL tattoo. He should have a PFL tattoo on his forehead for like signing the deal with the PFL and then immediately going to do boxing. Like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him out there, and they think, all promotions, good promotion, and like they'll co-promote kind of, right? And Francis Ngannou's name will carry back, his fame will carry back over to the PFL, and now more people will tune in. And I'm sure that will happen. But after this performance, like, I think the upfront, like, I want some money up front. Like, I want the promotional material up front. I like PFL up front. I'd like it to be everywhere. So I think the PFL, like, who's the biggest loser in this? I think it's the PFL. Like, they signed this guy, and he goes and boxes, and like they get this big push because it's Francis Ngannou. He's in the PFL now. He was doing promotional stuff at the last event with the Bellator Cross event, and it's him with Mike Tyson and this and that, and he's just becoming a bigger name. And he's like, everybody on Twitter is talking about how, oh, Ngannou, like, look, he did so much better since he got outside the UFC. Financially, absolutely. There's no question. It's not even a contest. Obviously, he's done well for himself. I'm very happy for him in that regard. I think that him leaving the UFC in general was a great business idea for him. How he did it, I think it could have been better. The UFC is not innocent here either. Obviously, they don't treat their fighters financially respectfully. For the most part, we all know how they're treated. Like, there's 2 sides to this, right? You sign a long contract, and in that contract, the UFC expect that's why they sign those longer contracts, a 5-fight deal, a 4-fight deal with these bigger guys, like who they see championship potential in. Is like, I'm gonna get you on a 10-10, or I'm gonna get you on a 20-20 while you're still champion. I'll pay you pay-per-view points, but I'm gonna pay you $40K as a champion for 2 fights. Before leading up to that, though, like, let's say you don't make it, and then you're still on that 20-20 deal with no name recognition. It's like, I'm taking the gamble, paying you this money, and I know it's not enough. It's definitely not enough. That's not, like, I'm not here to argue that. I'm just explaining the business sense of why you would give someone a long contract like that. You would do that expecting that when they do have the title, now I'm going to get a couple cheaper fights out of this, pump their name up, and then we can, on their next contract, I'm going to have to foot the bill, right? I'm going to end up paying for it. Same thing happens in basketball. It happens in football, right? After you get out of your rookie deal, you see that, oh, this guy has potential to be like an all NBA player, an all-star, an all NBA player, possibly an MVP. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm not going to give him MVP money yet because he hasn't earned it. And I know he's not going to get it from anyone else, but I will give him, I will give him maybe a little less than all-star money. Maybe I'll give him all-star money within a 5-year deal or 6-year deal. And then within that 5 or 6-year deal, if he becomes an all-star, an all NBA player or MVP, like it's going to, increase his value. And then by the end of the contract, like I'm underpaying him based off of his market value. That means in his next contract, I'm going to owe him big, which is fine. But that's the gamble that we're playing here. It's like I might overpay you because what happens when you don't reach your potential or what I expect your potential to be? Same thing happened with Ngannou. I know I digress. I'm very happy that Ngannou has made money. I think that his story is incredible. I'm more of a fan of his genuine experience and his genuine demeanor when I see that. This whole bad guy thing, it just doesn't play right. It seems weird, and like his management team is like, oh, you got to play the villain. Like people, you got to act like, oh, I'm trying to get the money, and like you got to be the bad guy. Why? Just be the goofball who punched the guy in the nuts. Denny, was it Aaron? Danger Aaron punched him in Jackass. Like, just be that guy. Just be the goof. It's okay. People will like you. You're big. You're scary. You're an insane MMA fighter. It's okay if you're a goof. You do not have to be so serious. So I think him going to the PFL, I think the next move for him, money-wise, I think would be to take another boxing match. Capitalize on your name. Say that you're coming back. Say that you learn stuff. I think for him, I think another boxing match is the best idea financially. I think if he wants some time to recoup and get some wins back under his belt, I think the PFL is probably the way to go. Now that Bellator and PFL are together, like he might have some challenge, but they don't have the best heavyweights in the world in those organizations. I mean, I'm sorry. For those of you guys who are competing in that, if you happen to watch this, thank you for stopping by for this insult. But just being honest and objective here, based off of their skill sets and what I've seen in Bellator and PFL, I don't think they have the best heavyweights in the world. I don't. I think the best heavyweights in the world are in the UFC. I think it's a shallow talent pool, and the best heavyweights in the world are in the UFC. Right? Yes, like some of them can compete in the UFC. I'm not saying they couldn't compete in the UFC, but I don't think they would. I don't think John Jones would lose to any of them. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Tom Aspinall would lose to any of them. Sergey Pavlovich, I don't know if he loses to any of them. So even Andrei Arlovski, I think he could hang in Bellator. I think in Bellator he would have I think he could still have another 4 years left on his career. So that's enough about this one. I'm surprised. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys think it was going to go this way? Did you think there's no fucking way that you guys thought Joshua was going to knock him out? Unless you were being like a delusional boxing fan. Not a boxing fan, a delusional boxing fan, thinking like, oh, Joshua's going to go in there and stomp him in 2 rounds and put his lights out. If that was your call, I hope you put money on it. Otherwise, shut it. Like, there's no way you thought that was going to happen. There is no way. There's no way that you... no. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'll putting out my UFC video next week. So, not next week, tomorrow. I'll be putting that out. So, appreciate y'all. Have a great week.